And so today we're going to talk about 3 types of leadership. And so what does that mean? Leadership simply means that you're going to lead people and you're going to develop people into their maximum potential. So the number 1 is the inspirational leader. He inspires people, and it's one of them that I enjoy being able to work with them. I'd love to talk about my mentors. One of them are total entrepreneurs. They are humanitarians, and I love these type of leaders. I've had many in my personal organizations and my father's organizations, and they are the people who leave you inspired. And at the end, once again, leadership is simply building people. That's all. Number 2 is the type of leader, which is called the technical leader. Many of us start this way. They are wonderful people to work with. They have a great method and technique of being able to lead. They don't give up. They're relentless. She was detailed and very much a perfectionist. She was the total opposite of me at the time. She pulled the perfectionist out of me and enlarged my vision beyond anything imaginable. They are hard workers. They have a sick work ethic. They are a complement with the inspirational leader. They may not be able to perhaps enlarge the network, meaning put more people in, but they are the ones who help the masses find out the why they are doing something for their life into finding their purpose. And they work the organization relentless. So we complement each other very well, and the technical leader is always going to edify or build up the first leader, which is the inspirational leader. They are constant in this action, not because they're super important, but because they need a sense of belonging. They have a wonderful self-esteem and know how to edify well. A leader who doesn't work on themselves will clash completely with the inspirational leader. Once they decide to separate from their leaders, they feel as they are robbed by the spotlight, which is a true mistake due to losing their organizations. They were inspired by the inspirational leader, which is the first leader. When they understand that they have to grow, they become inspiration. They understand that they have to grow and they leave. It's not necessarily a tragedy. When a leader leaves, my mentors comment on the fact that they may need to mature, since each leader has a creative part in the team. The point is to work together, blend together, and be a team. They all work together, and they could develop a mature sense of leadership. Finally and foremost, there is the spectator leader. In business, they begin with trashing a business, and I personally like to call these people business trolls. They badmouth the business so the stocks fall, and then they buy the organization for a much cheaper price, at a very inexpensive price. When this happens, this leader earns a lot of money. There is a wonderful book which I totally recommend, and it's written by Jordan B. Peterson, and it talks about this matter. It talks about when we are children, we have to grow up to signal or pinpoint something that we could truly learn to have attention. This leader constantly seeks for attention by lowering the value of other leaders. They truly believe that this is how they increment their own value. They are constantly criticizing. You know these leaders. They de-edify all the time, constantly trying to damage other people's organizations by being by putting everybody down. They do not have a friendly manner, but in fact they destroy other people's businesses. They attempt to criticize all the leadership, and sadly they do not any value whatsoever to the table. I had a cat named Blondie. He would meow constantly, to the point that when I received phone calls, all they heard was meowing, seeking for attention. Our dog would also bark and bark and bark along them. Blondie was the leader, believe it or not. But when anyone left the house, this cat would hide. And you would find them hiding trembling under the sofa or in a hiding spot. The dog, however, would come and welcome you, give you kisses, and be adorable. Normally, the people with this attitude have many fears. They don't feel that they have a professional value in the organization. They constantly criticize negatively people, and they feel like they're not shining and they're not in the spotlight. They are extremely troubling. These leaders criticize negatively all the time, and it is extremely troubling. They want to constantly be in the spotlight, and they don't always shine necessarily. The first leader works to providing a service. Number 3 works well because they need to be edified and recognized publicly. Now let's not make the mistake in leadership. We are indeed building a society. That's the whole meaning of leadership. This society is a result that what we bring to the table has to be extremely important. And I invite you to bring the number 1 inspirational leader with inspiration, not only to work in the business world, in your church, in your temple, in your synagogue, but to not only building communities and huge organizations. And so for your personal life, that if you're in a network, in an organization, in a synagogue, in a business, in a temple, you add positive critique, that we learn that everything can be good, that we could make a better world. There are people who are paid to de-edify and critique, and unfortunately, it has become a huge culture. This culture does not help anybody. In fact, it's destroying our society. So finally, I want to invite you to work within yourself and become the number 1 leader. So you are inspired to do what you want in your home, and that you inspire in your place of work or network. So there are 3 types of leadership which we have learned and taught us to contribute in these 3 types of leadership. So you become the number 1 leader. Mwah!